is your best friend, Nikki.
And your best friend, Parker.
And you're listening to Is This Adulting?
Hey everybody, and welcome to Is This Adulting, a weekly conversation between two best friends navigating adulthood as overgrown man-children. Y'all, I'm still sick this week. I'm best friend number 1, Stephen Pappas.
And I'm completely healthy, best friend number 2, Chris Grimmin.
And this week, we are really excited. We have a very special guest with us. We have Mike Brown from the incredibly popular and incredibly well-made podcast Pleasing Terrors. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to being here all week.
That's awesome. I've been looking forward to having you since we scheduled you way back when, just because I was just telling you before this, and you know what? I'm going to say it on the podcast too. You are definitely top 5 podcasters, in my opinion, out there. Your storytelling ability, your content, everything you do on Pleasing Terrors resonates with me, and I love it. And so I very, very much am excited to have you on here.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Sure.
Mike, if you're not uncomfortable enough yet by the flattery, then I would like to just continue by saying your physical body is beautiful. Every single thing that you've ever said makes me want to cry with just pure delight. So I just figured I would continue on to that train that Steven started of just heavy compliments.
That's okay. I'm good with it so far.
Okay, good. He's enjoying the compliments. I wouldn't say them if I didn't mean them. If I didn't like you, I'd be like, and your podcast is pretty good. Like, it's all right. Cool. Well, we're going to get everything going in just a second. But before we do, Mike, do you want to tell people briefly a little bit about Pleasing Terrors and where they can find you on the interweb?
Well, Pleasing Terrors is a podcast that mixes paranormal stories with true crime and occasionally folklore and fairy tales. I try to tie different things together into one sort of cohesive story. It's a storytelling podcast, so it's me, telling a story as opposed to discussing or interviewing or anything like that. And I can be found at Pleasing Terrors on Facebook or Twitter, and also at pleasingterrors.com.
That's awesome. Little peek behind the curtain, we actually just edited out some stuff. I may leave it in the episode, who knows, but we had a weird audio issue, and so I jumped back in pretending that I had just heard what Mike said. So now we're all laughing for that reason. We're not just we're not laughing at his podcast.
We should all at the same time, or not at the same time, let's go through and each decide our own way that we would have gone back into the sound. So you did yours. You laughed and said that's awesome. That for yours. So mine is going to be something just being like, and I thought I was the only one that lost my pants on that trip. So that's my intro, or that's my bringing it back in, so people can just imagine what we were talking about during the break. Mike, you got one that you want to include or no?
I would just say that didn't happen.
Okay.
And
for
we'll
his
never
listeners
speak
out
of
there,
this again.
Yeah, for his listeners, he's concerned to conserve his his image.
There you go. Well, this week, housekeeping, we're going to get into it. Guess what? It's really short. Because I can't think of any real housekeeping that we have to do. We do have one person we need to thank, though, other than the audio drop. But first, I'm going to thank Nikki and Parker for the audio drop at the beginning of the episode. We're really, really excited about that one. If you want to do that, as always, you can always just record it on your phone and just say, hey, this is so-and-so from wherever you live, and you're listening to Is This Adulting? You're supposed to say, hey, this is your best friend so-and-so, and Chris is giving me the eyes because I forgot to say that. But now I've said it. But there is another person we need to thank. We got a package in the mail this week, and by we, I mean me, because you don't get any, Chris, and I got a really cool Pleasing Terrors shirt and a Pleasing Terrors sticker from Mike Brown of the Pleasing Terrors podcast.
Ooh.
So thanks to Mike Brown, if he's out there listening.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, there he is. I like to imagine when we thank people, they actually do speak out loud like that to their iPod or iPhone or whatever.
They're just like on the bus somewhere. You're welcome.
Well, for me, it's a little weird because I'm used to listening to you guys on your podcast. And so I can't help but sort of fall into listener mode as you're talking and forget that I'm actually supposed to be talking too.
Oh, yeah. If you had like music setting the tone behind you, I would just probably go into full listener mode on you too. I guessed it on a show.
Every time we're talking to you, we will address you as Mike, so you can like wake up and be like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to talk.
I guessed it on a show that when this episode releases, another peek behind the curtain, we're recording a little early. When this episode releases, I'm pretty sure it will have come out the Monday before this. I guess I'll include that in housekeeping. Go check out See Here's the Thing. It's a pop culture podcast. There's a lot of Game of Thrones talk on there, a lot of superhero talk, and I definitely got knighted somewhere during the podcast, so make sure to check that out. Again, that's called See Here's the Thing. It's a really cool show. So, with all of that said, we're going to start off this week just like we do every week with a mental health check-in. So, Chris, how have you been this week?
Overall, I can say it's been pretty good. There have been a couple times, like today, for instance, kind of had a little bit of just like a little panic. Not really a panic attack, just like a really, really heavy anxiety, felt nauseous type of moment. But besides that, I can honestly say, compared to how many weeks have been, things have been surprisingly pretty good. I'm actually going on vacation soon. That's exciting. It's been actually a really long time since I've been on a vacation. And I'm going to try and take advantage of that, and hopefully it will be good. So, actually, by the time this is coming out, I think I will actually be on my vacation. Ooh, how fun! So,
where are you going?
So I'm going to Florida in a couple days. We're going to Disney World, which I'm mostly excited about, and only slightly nervous about the fact that it's Florida and it's August and there's people, and the combination of those three things, plus humidity, should create a very interesting thing for me. But I'm excited. So hey, future Chris out there who's listening somewhere on the Florida Rays, not on the Florida Rays, that would cause severe burns. But on the beach or pool, or actually it's Orlando, so there is no beach. Just
pull up on the stick.
Just keep having fun, man. Hope you're relaxing. And I'm just gonna end this since it's not worked that well this time. But overall, pretty good. So yeah. How about you, Mike? How's everything been going?
It's been going well. I've been kind of exhausted, I would have to say. July, I give tours, and July is a very, very busy month. So sure. I tend to work 7 days a week, plus work on the podcast. So it's lately I've been kind of reaching the point where I was just sort of burning out. So I'm kind of looking forward to things slowing down a little bit in August.
Yeah. Gosh, and I mean, how many tours do you think you're given on a nightly basis?
Well, just 2 tours a night.
Okay, 2 tours a night.
Yeah, I do 2 tours a night. But between that and the podcast, it really makes for a busy schedule. And and it's not that it's one of those things where a lot of times it's not so much being physically tired as it is just being sort of mentally worn out. Which I think is actually kind of worse sometimes, because it to me at least it seems harder to bounce back from that.
Totally. Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I'll definitely be thinking about you since you've still got a couple more weeks of the heavy, busy, touristy time, because you're in Charleston, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's when everyone's coming. So we'll continue to be thinking about you. Stephen, how has your week been? I know that you're not feeling very good.
No, I'm not feeling good. I'm like physically sick. I'm like kind of emotionally sick, but believe it or not, I'm going to go ahead and say good things. So again, to distort the timeline of this episode, we are recording this episode before we record the episode that you heard last week. And so
Inception.
Right, exactly. It's an episode within an episode.
My brain hurts now.
See, we broke Mike, and he has to go give a tour later. No, I so as many of you know, especially the people in the best friends group, my wife left for the beach on, I guess, Thursday of this past week, which will have been 2 weeks ago by the time you hear this. And we are recording this on the last day of that weekend. So
I'm here right now, and I don't understand what you're saying.
She's coming back today. I'll put it this way: it's been like 5 days since she left. She's coming back today. And overall, I think that's one reason I'm like physically sick, is I've been really stressed about her being gone. But she's been gone for the full 4 or 5 days, and last time she was gone, she made it 3 hours before I had a breakdown, and she had to drive home and take me to the doctor. She's been gone the whole 4 days, and at no point until a little bit before this recording did I have to turn to extra medication or work on like any sort of mindfulness stuff to keep me calm. There was only one time that I got ramped up real bad, and I just texted her. She texted me right back, and everything kind of eased up. So I choose to look at that as improvement from 4 months ago when she left for 2 hours and I lost my mind.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, sounds
good. So I'm really excited about that. So I think moving forward, hopefully that won't be something that'll be such a problem. So the anxiety has kind of at least gotten to a point where I can manage it, I guess. With stuff like that, instead of losing control, which is what I was doing for the whole 2 weeks before she left. Like every night I had a meltdown because I knew it was coming and I was afraid of what would happen when she left. And then when it happened, wasn't so bad. You know, my mom and my grandma were here the first night she was gone. I had Friday mostly to myself, and then my best friend from growing up, Adam, he came down and spent the whole weekend with me. We had a guys' weekend, and it was awesome, you know, so it was really good to just like be able to handle my own stuff for once. So it was really good. And on a high note, that's like a few months from now or next month, because this is releasing in August, I am going on a tour, one of Mike's tours. I'm already like planning. So hopefully you are running tours the weekend of September 23rd.
I will make sure that I am.
Cool.
Wait,
because
running
my wife
tours?
and I will be, well, you know what I mean. Like he's not like not doing tours. Like
no, I thought you meant literally you did like a running tour.
Oh, I'm not running, especially in Charleston. It's very humid there.
If I gave a running tour, it'd be a very short tour.
Well, especially because I know the type of like it's the more serious like haunted tour. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's so much scarier that you're having to run the whole time.
My wife might be running because she's gonna go on the tour with me, and she's so scared of like all of that like haunted history and like all that stuff. So I'm really, really excited because she agreed to go on it with me because she listened to Pleasing Terrors. She listened to your Charleston jail episodes. And it scared the bejesus out of her, but she still agreed, like, this guy is clearly a good storyteller. Like, I will go on this tour even if I'm terrified. I was like, cool.
By the way, you know they're going to turn that into an office building.
The old Charleston jail?
Yeah, so people are actually going to have to go work there every day.
Why? Why would they do that?
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I mean, is it fair to say that the Charleston jail is the most haunted place in Charleston, reportedly?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so Mike spent the night by himself, and that's a story for another time. And definitely go check out, which I don't remember which episode numbers they are, but you did a 2-part episode about your...
Yeah, it's called Condemned. I want to say it's like maybe 14 and 15, something like that.
I was going to say, I think it's around the mid-teens. But you did. I know you spent a night in that jail and you saw and heard some things. So I can't imagine somebody working in that environment.
Hey, Steven.
Hey, Chris, what's up?
Do you think that in the office building's going to have cell service?
Oh, God.
I've been holding on to it the whole time, just sitting here like giggling.
I love you and your puns.
Stupid. That was so dumb. I apologize for anyone who's new or old. You have every right to be ashamed of me.
All right. Well, per usual, because I think we've forgotten what we were doing, if you have a mental health check-in you'd like to share, or some way we can encourage you throughout the week, or you just want somebody to talk to, like I always say, we're not professionals, but we'd be more than happy to just be a listening ear. You can email us at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. If you'd like it read on the air, just let us know it's okay to read it on the air, and we'll read it anonymously. We'll give you a pseudonym, a funny name, whatever. And also go check out the Is This Adulting Best Friends group on Facebook. It's a really cool place with really supportive people, and you can always share over in there. So we're going to move into our first topic now, which I'm excited about. And I kind of changed it on them literally 30 minutes before we recorded, and they don't know what's coming. So Mike does Pleasing Terrors, which is, revolves around a lot of times kind of creepy things. I think it's fair to say, I mean, anyone can look at your logo and know there's something a little creepy going on here.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, a lot of people are scared by my logo.
I was scared by your logo at first because it's a marionette, right? Or a doll, or a ventriloquist
like a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, that terrifies me because I'm so scared of dolls. Dolls and mascots are my top two fears. And so, so we were like, Mike's here, something creepy. Cool, let's do it. And so I threw out the idea. Well, I mean, Chris threw out the idea, but I kind of expanded upon the idea of horror movie strategies and like how we would survive horror movies. And so I was going to do 3 scenarios, and then we would all 3 give our strategies. But rather than do that, I spent some time really developing these scenarios into interesting scenarios that aren't quite what you would probably imagine as your typical horror movie, but things that would really be scary. And so I'm not going to participate in the actual sharing of my strategies. I just want to hear y'all's strategies as I share these scenarios. So,
okay.
All right.
These scenarios at the most base level, we're going to talk about a Saw style scenario with traps. We're going to talk about a slasher scenario. We're going to talk about a paranormal scenario, and we're going to talk about a Walking Dead style zombie scenario. And so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the first one. And I need you to know I took this in a direction that only Is This Adulting could take it. But the first one, completely serious. I used a literal trap from the movie, Saw, the first one. So it's called the reverse bear trap. It's terrifying. It is a thing that is attached to your head. You are sitting in a chair, and if you do not get it off your head by the time the timer expires, it will rip your head open, jaw first. And so, yeah. And so, okay, so here's the scenario you're in. So you're locked into that, and you hear the tape, and the tape tells you like, "Hello, Chris." I'm not gonna do the Jigsaw voice, but essentially the tape tells you.
Into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll do a little bit.
Are you sure that was Jigsaw's voice?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna do it. It says, "Hello, Chris." This is a weird version of like.
It just sounds like a really like old asthmatic dude from the Bronx.
Yeah. Hey there, Chris. This is.
Hey, hello, Chris. Excuse me for the cough.
Okay, so anyway, you hear the tape. The tape says, "Hello, Chris. Hello, Mike," and it explains.
Okay, so now it's just very pleasant.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey,
how are you
doing?
It's this fine evening.
Tawny did the voiceover for it. So it's just telling you, hey, here's the scenario. There is a key. It's in the stomach of your dead cellmate. And when you have 60 seconds from the time you move, it pulls a pin. You have 60 seconds to dig the key out of the stomach of your dead cellmate and get it off your head. But just like in the movie, spoilers, when you lift up the shirt, there's a knife there. When you lift up the shirt, there's a question mark on his stomach and his eyes open. So he's clearly not dead. What do you do? I will go to Mike first since you are our guest.
Well, my first question would be, do I know my cellmate?
No, he's a stranger. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder.
I think it makes it harder, because my second question would have been, do I like my cellmate?
Because I'm going to say, that's a lot of information about you, Mike. Note to self, don't become his friend.
Yeah,
apparently.
I know. I'm going to steer clear of Mike.
Well, he's a douche.
I want to believe that in that situation, I would take one for the team and would spare my cellmate and just, get taken out. But I don't know. I guess you don't know until you're there. But
yes, I hope you're never there.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I am, my first thought will be, well, this is ironic.
God, I should have developed a theory for
I should
this
have thought this
adulting.
through when I had the chance.
Gosh, some might say that this is the perfect time to get ahead of the game.
Oh God!
Oh,
Chris.
man, I'm killing it.
You're killing.
Oh,
No, you're
I did a
killing
third
me.
one. I did a third one. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, so what would you do, Chris?
Okay. Well, I just need to start off with this whole exercise with just explaining a little bit of something. So for our listeners, new or old, as you've already heard, Mike is the type of person that would go into what is considered one of the most haunted areas in the world and spend the night by himself. Is that a correct description, Mike?
Yes.
See, now I'm a little bit on the different, and by a little bit, I couldn't be any more opposite. Mike, you need to understand, I'm the type of guy that if there's less than 15 people in an Old Navy, I might not go in. Like, I don't like being by myself under any circumstance. I don't like anything that even remotely seems to be scary. And so, in advance, I just apologize, for you are much braver and much stronger than I can ever be. So going off number one, knowing the little bit that I know about Saul, and his name being Jigsaw, I know that no matter what you do, it is going to he is going to be able to twist the words that you've said. So even if you try and be smart about it, and you say something, then he's just going to take whatever you said. You're going to fall back asleep, or he's going to knock you out or whatever. You're going to wake up, and it's going to be even a worse situation that has something to do with what you did before. So, say you just refuse to talk. Then the next time you're going to wake back up, and he's going to threaten to cut off your tongue and say, if you don't want to talk, then... And so, knowing that, I feel
You've definitely not seen Saw.
Okay, this is my imagination. So, I have one of two philosophies here. One, you have no other choice than to become his bride. Under any circumstance, you must seduce Jigsaw. You need to bat those eyelashes, and you need to go, "Hey, Jiggy."
Oh, please
that's
no.
the only. So that's your one option. And if that doesn't work, your other option is this. I think the only thing you can do is play dumb, and I mean super dumb, so dumb that you just don't even can comprehend anything, and he just gets so agitated that either he kills you, which is not the best case scenario, or he's just kind of you know what, I'm just going to release this feral cat because this is not even fun to play with. I feel those are the only two options that you truly got. I mean, am I right? Because otherwise, in 60 seconds, I don't know if I can emotionally get myself to the place where I'm going to be opening this person their stomach up.
I don't know what it says about me, but I'm just oh no, just like in the movie, I would, spoilers again, I would just be well, gotta do what I gotta do. Dig, and get the key out.
Well, for me, it's a chess move though. And my thought is, so I'm going to do this, and then this doesn't tell me that there's no evidence that I am going to then be released after this. It seems like more than likely you're just going to do something else to me. And so because of that, I mean, I think that I would want to do the same thing as Mike and just, take one for the team, even though I feel that's a little bit of a lighthearted way to describe what you would be doing. But my first options would be, I've got 60 seconds to seduce this madman. What do I have to do?
He's not in the room, by the way.
Oh, but he's watching. That's
true.
all I can say. That's all I can say. Be all right. If there's only 6, but at the same time, I don't really want to spend my last 60 seconds trying to seduce this random psycho. So, I don't know. That is my options. Just because
Okay.
I don't think that there's any evidence that says. Now, if there was an absolute guarantee that I could get out, I would be more likely to consider it. But even then, you'd have to live with it the rest of your life.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, in the effort to not take up Mike's entire life with the fact that I have really fleshed out these next 3 scenarios, and our episodes are supposed to be an hour. They're usually an hour and a half. I'm going to just move on to our next scenario, which is the slasher scenario.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what's going on. You're at Camp Carlton. It was founded by Alfonso Ribeira. That's why.
Okay, good.
So you're at Camp Carlton. For those of you that don't know, this is Carlton from The Fresh Prince. There is a killer in a hockey mask working his way around, just wearing like the dankest 90s sweater though. Like, and he's coming for you. And so he's moving.
The Carlton Killer?
Yes. That is his name. That's good. I like it.
Good.
He's moving from cabin to cabin, and all you can hear blaring through the speakers the entire time is, "It's not unusual to be loved by anyone." It's just everywhere. And so this is the horror that you have been dropped into. How are you going to survive? I'll go first with Chris this time.
Okay. I've actually thought quite a bit about this.
About how to escape from Alfonso Ribeiro in hockey mask?
I have. He's a very scary man.
No, he's not.
Here's my thought. Once again, I have two strategies. I have my preferable strategy, and then my other strategy that if I get desperate, then that's what I'll do. I think that a smart thing to do in those situations is like Home Alone him, if you get what I'm saying. And so I imagine wanting to develop many booby traps in order to be able to make it work. And so my first thing that I would do is I would find a cabin that has some type of gas line. What I would then do would be I would break the gas valve, and then I would run out. Okay, I would then find wherever the music was playing, that was playing the "It's Not Unusual" song. I can't remember what it's actually called.
It's called "It's Not Unusual" by Tom Jones.
Oh, okay, thanks. And I would replace it with the only thing that I could think that would both distract and deeply upset this murderer, and that is Chris Daughtry. Just this whole CD.
Just all of them. Okay.
Yep, just all of it. Just because Chris Daughtry, in my mind, is, I mean, who wouldn't get upset,
Mike is the head of the Chris Daughtry fan club, by the way. So
my apologies, Chris Daughtry, if you happen to be listening.
He's from North Carolina. He very well might be.
It's possible. But I
Plot twist: the guy behind the mask is Chris Daughtry.
Oh my God! He's not Carlton.
Okay, fine. Okay, if it is Chris Daughtry,
so it just gets him pumped.
He's super excited, and I become his bride. Or let's say it's not. Let's say it's not Chris Daughtry. And
why do these keep ending the same way?
Because it's Chris.
What can I say? I have to use what I've got, and what I've got is my seductive skills.
Is it?
Not really, but
I'm going to text your wife right now and ask about your seductive skills.
Okay, so I begin by blasting Chris Daughtry. That is going to confuse him because it's not the music that he was prepared to murder people with, and so he's going to be upset. And then, as he's looking around, I'm going to have the music specifically blasting from the place that I broke the valve. He's going to come inside. I'm going to be standing from far away. And because we're at a camp, there's going to be tons of archery supplies laying around. Sure. I'm going to pull a Katniss Everdeen skill out, set the bow and arrow on fire, pull it, and aim it straight into the cabin, and they explode.
Now we're assuming he is mortal, unlike Jason, who would just walk out on fire and now be a flaming monster chasing you. But let's assume that they're mortal.
But okay. Here's my other option. If that doesn't happen, here's my more desperate times for desperate measures thing. No. A very different approach, and that is so charge directly at him, which at first might sound strange, but if you yell the phrase diarrhea over and over, that will both confuse and disgust the person trying to kill you, and they might actually just start running. And so my approach, it's a strange one. I'll give you that. But my thought is, okay, what would be more disgusting? I mean, because my thought was, okay, if you're getting attacked, the same way I thought if you're getting mugged, I've planned this before with my friends. If I'm getting mugged, I'm going to immediately start yelling at any moment, I have diarrhea. And, I mean, okay, that's pretty graphic, but you tell me one person, there's got to be someone that is listening right now that has mugged someone before. Think about it, mugger. Think about it. If someone started yelling, I have diarrhea, would you not immediately start running for your life?
My gosh.
I get it's gross, but you're desperate. What else are you supposed to do? But I'm sorry, I've gone on a long tangent. But
it is. I love it. By the way, I have texted Kate Grimmett. Would you say that Chris has seduction skills? And in a surprising turn of events, she has texted back, haha, when he wants to, I would say yes.
Oh, there you go.
Strangely, honest answer.
Yeah, I was
from
going to say,
my
I thought she would just be like, no. All right.
Or
so,
she would just fake it and be like, "Oh yeah, he definitely does." But
There's
right, well,
levels to that response.
yeah,
there is.
You're going to need to talk to her about that later.
Watch out, everyone.
All right.
I might become your bride.
All right. So, Mike, how are you going to survive this?
Well, nothing nearly as heroic as Chris, but I think
Take one for the team?
I think my first response would be the obvious one, to run.
Right.
And then when inevitably I am backed into a corner, I trip over something, you take a wrong turn, whatever, as always happens in these movies.
Right.
Sure.
I get backed into a corner, there's nowhere to go. I think at that point I have no choice but to start doing the Carlton dance and just singing along and try to
become one of his followers.
Try to become a buddy with the killer.
Ooh, I like that approach.
This might be more brilliant than either of yours, Chris. He might just be like, my child, and then hug you. You may have to commit some murders in his name, but I mean, at the same time, you have spared your own life.
I think so.
Okay.
You just got to win him over.
Interesting.
Win him over so I can kill for him.
All right. So
I like that strategy. That was nice.
Next up, a little harder to compete with a paranormal situation, which
Oh,
Mike has
gosh.
legitimately been in. But this is a little different because this is scarier than anything you could have found in the Charleston jail, Mike.
Ooh.
So you have just purchased the estate owned by the late actor Bob Hoskins. For those of you who don't know, Bob Hoskins is well known for his critically acclaimed films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Mona Lisa, and his critically panned films like Super Mario Brothers and Hook.
Okay.
And so you have purchased the Hoskins estate. And so you move in, and everything seems okay for a while. But then, things start to oddly happen. Every night, as you try to go to bed, you just hear... dun 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 dun, and it keeps going all night long. So that's terrifying in and of itself. So let's say you learn to sleep through it. Cool. Whenever you wake up, there is a shadow figure shaped like Roger Rabbit that is just following you around the room with his eyes. And that's all you see is this rabbit-shaped shadow demonic figure that is constantly there. Also, every time you're in the house, you hear shouts of, take it back, take it back. And it's clearly the voice of the late Bob Hoskins trying to tell you to go back in time and tell him not to do the Super Mario Brothers movie. Because he has said, or had said before he passed on multiple occasions, it was the biggest mistake of his career. And so if you can get over all of that, you have to deal with the constantly appearing flames that just appear from nowhere and float through the air in your general direction. Because throughout the entire movie, I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering correctly from childhood, Mario has a flamethrower. And I don't know why, but that is a thing that happened in that monstrosity. So these are the things that you're dealing with. What do you do? I'm going to go to Mike first.
Well, I have to say I'm not very familiar with the body of his work.
Like most humans.
Okay, whoa, shots fired at Bob Hoskins.
The shots are fired at you.
But I'm gonna say there must be some really good movies in there somewhere. So maybe set up a TV in the house and put in a DVD of some of his really good movies that he was really proud of, and maybe that'll help him find some peace.
Interesting. So you're going to try to pacify the spirit by showing like I said, Mona Lisa or Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which are both considered critical, very well made movies.
Yeah, you just say, hey, we all make mistakes. Look at the good stuff you did. It wasn't all bad, and hopefully that would appease the spirit.
Mike is very much about just making buddies with whatever's trying to attack him or torment him.
Well, that's because I can't fight.
No, neither can I. That's a smart move. It's brilliant. Chris, on the other hand, is trying to. Are you going to try to seduce the shadow figure of Roger Rabbit?
No, I'm not that predictable.
Do you have a Jessica Rabbit outfit?
Hey, I'd fit it well, my friend.
Oh God. Okay, Chris, how you surviving?
Okay, I got my real answer and my fake answer.
Okay.
My real answer is, what the hell are you still doing there? You move under every circumstance.
You burn that house to the ground?
No.
No, then it'll follow you.
You gotta make some money off it. You gotta make some money off it. There are some people out there that would totally buy a house that was haunted. So you have to sell to those people, and you make your money back, or at least enough to be able to get by. That is my real answer. However, here's my fake answer that could work until you're able to get it sold. I would buy every possible copy that I could find of the Super Mario movie, and each night I would burn an effigy in order to appease the spirits.
Ooh, good idea.
And I would do a ritual, the whole thing, and I would, that's what I'd have to do.
Put on your Jessica Rabbit pajamas before you go to bed.
Yeah, because this is the thing that I was actually having a conversation with my wife about. It's
this very situation?
Yes. No. With the paranormal situation, it's so different than the others because it's like it is an entity, but it's also not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You don't have the same ability to like talk with it and kind of reason with it. I mean, in my mind at least, I don't think you have the same luxury that you do with some of the others, and so you have to get more creative. But at the end of the day, it's you move at any cost.
Okay.
The spirit has won. You have lost.
All right. Well,
become its metaphorical bride.
Oh God. Okay, I'm really interested to see how you're gonna seduce or become a bride in this last situation. So you wake up, Walking Dead style, at Ray Kroc Memorial Hospital. Now, for those of you who don't know who Ray Kroc is, he is the founder of McDonald's.
Okay.
Well, I didn't want to say Ronald McDonald because Ronald McDonald House is like a legitimate, like, awesome organization.
Yeah,
so I didn't want to So, okay. So you wake up at Ray Kroc Memorial Hospital. And as you exit your room, you're waking out of some coma. As you exit your room, there are zombies everywhere. And they are all dressed, as all of the hospital staff had to be, in Grimace costumes, Hamburglar costumes, Mayor McCheese costumes, Ronald costumes, the weird little chicken nugget costumes. Because that was what was required. So there's like 56 Grimaces, like walking through the hallways of this hospital, and like a couple Ronalds because they were more special. And so all you have in this hospital, really, the doors are barred. You're stuck inside. You can't get out. So you have to figure out a way to defeat all these zombies and or just die. And so all that you really have at your disposal are a ball pit, deep fryers, and oversized comical food-themed props.
What dark place have you gone to
I went down a very
situation?
dark. I told you I've been feeling sick, and today I just went to a place that I've never been before, and that's Ray Kroc Memorial Hospital.
Is barred?
Yes, the doors have been barred because they're trying to keep the dead inside.
Oh.
Yeah, they're trying to contain what's in there. And let's say that it's out there too once you get out of the doors. But I want you to focus on how you're going to survive even trying to get out of this hospital or fight your way through all of these zombies. So Mike went first last time, I believe. So Chris, that's up to you.
Okay. Well, in many ways, you've set up the perfect situation. And that is literally 3/4 of these zombies are in costumes.
Okay.
So you like find one isolated zombie.
Okay.
You kill it.
Okay.
And you take its costume. And then you slowly start heading to an area to escape.
Here's the thing with The Walking Dead that you may not know, Chris. The zombies can smell living meat. And so what you would have to do in that situation is, as they've done many times on The Walking Dead, you would have to actually rub the innards of the zombie all over you so that it masks your scent of life.
Or all over the costume.
All over the costume too, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna straight up, lemonade style, just all those limbs right on top of that beautiful Grimace costume, And heck, if I need to, I'll throw I'm gonna get one of the characters that have like a big belly, and so in it, I'm just gonna put some of like, I'm gonna put the feet, I'm gonna put a couple of limbs in there, and just fill out that belly a little bit more to help take some of that stench. And then, so is it just the hospital that everyone is zombies? Or,
no, there are zombies outside,
outside,
but it would be much better to be outside and not in a contained space with them.
Well, your scenario has many holes in it, my friend. So,
okay, well, I did make it up 15 minutes before we started recording.
Your other zombies have decided that because they're apparently xenophobic, they're going to lock out these specific zombies.
No, not everyone outside is zombies. The people who are still alive at some point when it started taking over, you're at ground zero. This is where it happened. So they barred the doors to try to protect the virus from getting out, but maybe one of them was infected. Maybe they had been scratched or bitten. No, the other zombies didn't bar the doors. The people who are still alive on the outside.
I was gonna say that was what it was sounding like. Yeah, no.
I like how passionate I am about my scenario. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I would bar myself in a room. I would first try and find a working telephone.
Okay. There are none.
There's got to be something. There's flares. There's going to be something. There's no way that there's a whole freaking locked hospital full of zombies and there's not police and everything outside. So what you need to do is
you're
you
far
need to
enough
break a
into
window.
the zombie apocalypse that the police have been kind of utterly devastated.
Okay, you are adding new parts of the situation.
You don't know about
second.
The Walking Dead. I'm just saying this is the scenario. The virus took over months ago.
Yet somehow you've been Rip Van Winkle asleep this entire time in the
hospital. That is kind of how The Walking Dead happened.
That's kind of how it starts.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So the premise beside this whole show is that
I think the door was locked and they were like, meh.
You had 12 Tylenol PM and you just slept for 4 months.
No, he was in a coma at the time. He got shot and he was in a coma. That's how it starts. But anyway, okay. What would you do?
This medically induced coma somehow, without any assistance medically, he's able to get out of it.
Right.
Okay. I stick true to what I was saying. I murder a zombie. I rub their parts. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna rewind what I just said. I caught myself. I'm gonna. You know what I'm trying to say.
And the title of the episode is "I'm gonna rub their parts."
Well, I'm startled by what I've just said. And then I will. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and cover myself with zombie stench. Be in a Grimace costume. I'm gonna get all the way to the first floor. I'm gonna break a window and I'm gonna run out. Done.
I think hospitals. Can you break the windows in hospitals though?
Okay. Let's stop creating this situation.
Okay. No. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say
enough motivation.
We're just shy of an hour and we're still on the first topic. So I'm gonna throw it over to Mike and see if he's got a better scenario.
Okay.
Well, first of all, let me say I think my favorite mental image of today is going to be someone in a Grimace costume getting chased by zombies.
Who are also in Mayor McCheese costumes.
Oh god.
Honestly, I was so distracted by thinking about that I really wasn't thinking about what my strategy would be. But I will tell you this: my wife and I, whenever we go anywhere, we are always looking at places and saying, "Oh, that would be a good place for the zombie apocalypse," or that would be that would be a good place to write it out. I gotta say, I don't have anything original here. I think you kind of do the Walking Dead thing where you just cover yourself in zombie guts and try to get up maybe to bust a window open and tie the sheets together and climb down the outside. I guess that's the only thing that I could think of.
I need you both to know I'm very devastated that no one used the ball pit or the deep fryers or the oversized comical food shaped props in any way.
I would take the deep fryer and I would break the window. How about that?
There you go.
No. I'll play your game now. I'm gonna
okay.
collect individually balls from the ball pit to make a slippery hallway that zombies
Ooh, good idea.
are attempting to get through, but it's going to be very, very difficult for them to get through, and that gives me more time to try and escape. There you go.
There you go. Also, these are Walking Dead zombies. That's why I said Walking Dead style. So they're very slow. So that would actually be probably pretty feasible.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Or I find another human that's also alive that's much more able to defeat the zombies, and I become their bride. It's that simple. I don't know why we're making it so difficult.
Oh.
Become their bride. It's so simple.
There you go. That's what we'll do. Well, this has been the first edition of horror movie survival techniques. I have a feeling I'm going to want to create some more scenarios and revisit this at some point.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have to create some more and have Mike back on and talk about it. Okay, so next up is Chris's favorite
My
part.
turn.
Which essentially I just did. I essentially just made a game.
Hey,
But
don't take my games from me.
Mike, I hope you cleared your calendar because it's going to be a day.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, we're good. Let's continue.
All right, Mike. Inspired from the fact that you love scary things, I wanted to try and find scary things that happened in the real world, as a way to inspire you to keep on your search for pleasing terrors, maybe? I don't know how to say that. So this game we've played before. It's called News or False. And what I'll do is pretty simple. I'll read to you the tagline of a story from the news. It either is actual news or it's something that I made up. And then both of you have to guess if it's true or if it's false.
All right.
Simple enough?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, the first
Well, okay,
news-
hold on. What happened
what?
to what happened to the production? This has always been a production.
Well, fine then.
I'm really upset about this. We have a guest on. We need to put our best foot forward, which means you need to have the production ready to go, bud.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I was focusing on becoming the bride of many, many different people trying to kill me. I apologize. Let's see here. Is this it? Oh, here it is. Oh, hey everyone. It's me, Chris Grimmett. Who's ready to play a fun game? It's a game that we call, Steven, you better do it with me or I'm going to cry. News or false. All right. I already told you the rules, so you get it. Is that good?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. All right. So, first news line reads this. Man conducts test to discover which part of the body hurts the most when you're stung by a bee. Fellas, is this news or is this false?
I think maybe that's news.
He says news. Steven, do you agree or do you disagree?
I'm gonna also say that is news.
It's news!
Hey!
Yeah! So this man conducted a test to discover which part of the body hurts the most when you're stung by a bee. He received, listen, it's pretty elaborate. He received 3 experimental stings each day, along with 2 daily calibration stings on his forearm. And so with this, I am now going to give you the top 10 list of the things that he considered to be from most painful to least painful. Actually, we'll start with least painful out of these 10. Anyone want to guess what might be towards the least painful?
Of the top 10?
Of the top 10, yes.
Inside of the elbow?
And inside the elbow.
Well, the inside of your arm, like not your elbow, but like the
like the elbow pit.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Oh,
Okay. That's not on there, so I guess it's not even on the main list.
Okay.
Mike, you want to guess for what would be the least painful?
Well, I would think the least painful would be just the obvious, like your arm or your leg or something.
Well, you're pretty close. So it's surprisingly pretty specific. So here's the order. So number 10, it's the tip of the middle finger is he considers to be one of the least painful.
Wow.
Which I guess because it's like, I mean, you get finger pricks, so I guess that's why. Then, thank you for flicking me off. Then he considers number 9 to be the abdomen is one of the places that hurts least. I guess it depends because, I mean, if you're anything like me, I don't really have abs, so I've got a little bit extra cushion to be able to help. Then, okay, this is only number 8. This is crazy to me that this is
Is it
only
what I
number
think
8.
should be number 1?
No, the top of the foot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For me, I mean, that would be nuts. And then it goes armpit, which I can't believe that he got 3 experimental stings in his armpit. Then it goes cheek, surprisingly enough. By the way, my favorite part of this whole like visualizing this is imagining a scientist trying to specifically hold on to a little like bee and specifically like do locations of where.
My thought is like the bee population's dying out, and how many bees is he killing? Because a bee dies after it stings.
I know he's very, very insensitive.
Okay, continue.
Which will make you feel better in a second, because number 5 is palm of the hand, and then number 4 is the scrotum. He considers to be one of the most painful. It's got to be on there. Then number 3, you would expect to be the most, is we'll keep it PG, and we'll say the wiener.
Why is using the medical term is PG?
Also, I don't know why I did it with that sultry voice.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Here are the top 2.
Eyeball.
To me. No, he didn't have that on there. Number 2 is the upper lip, which doesn't seem to be, but he said that apparently it's incredibly painful. And number 1, this makes no sense to me how this is the most painful, but he says the nostril is the most painful.
Have you ever had like infected hair follicle or something like on your nostril though, or like a zit?
I mean, yeah,
it's really painful.
But more painful than the wiener?
Oh God. I mean, I would have assumed that would have been number 1, but
yeah. Well, but so that's your first horrifying news story. So well done. You both have a point, 1-1. This is your second news headline: truck wrecks on highway, releasing sharks onto neighboring cars. Gentlemen, is this true or is this false?
I'm gonna say that's true.
I'm going to say true.
It's false!
Oh.
Actually, it's much more horrifying. What actually happened was 7,500 pounds of eels fell off a truck and fell on 2 innocent cars. It says, if you ever wondered why they're called slime eels, then ask no further. Also known as hagfish, they created a sticky mess when the truck overturned in Oregon, spilling 75 pounds of these creatures onto the roadway. Unfortunately for the owner of the car, the eels secrete a slime whenever they're stressed. So with that, I'm about to show you a link, and I got called out last week, which I appreciate, because I wasn't including these links and things, and so I'm going to include this link now, and hopefully it will be in our notes. But gentlemen, I would like for you to check and see the horrifying nature of what it looks like to have a bunch of eels. Pretty much, I guess biologically what this is nervous peeing is what the eels are doing. But it is very, very interesting. It almost looks like something that would happen in like The Day After Tomorrow, one of those like movies where it's like a natural like type of like snowstorm or something like that.
That's incredibly disgusting. I also find it interesting that you referred to the cars as innocent cars.
Innocent cars. Yeah.
You don't know what they've done. You don't know the cars. You don't know what they've been through.
Still though, they're just driving down the road, listening to some Chris Daughtry, and next thing you know, a bunch of eels, or also known as hagfish, start falling everywhere and pretty much slime peeing on them. And so I'm going to say that's pretty innocent of them. But unfortunately, both of you are wrong, so it's 1-1, and I did not prepare a extra question, so please, one of you win.
Okay.
So lastly, is this news or is this false? Family's cat brought down an attempted robbery in an Indiana neighborhood. Mike? News or false?
I'm going to say news.
Steven, news or false?
Just because Chris wants one of us to win, I'm going to say false. But I want for the record to show I do think that is news. But I will say false.
It is news.
Oh, I took one for the team.
So, like as anyone might imagine, it would be scary to find yourself in a situation where someone's trying to break into your home. Apparently, this man was knocking on the window late at night, claiming to this woman, saying this person's trying to kill him, so please let him in. She refused because she's like a 80-year-old woman. He didn't like that she refused, so he broke the window and started climbing in. However, there was something that he didn't realize, and that was Binky, the family cat, had other plans for him. Binky began to, as they described, continually ravishing the man. leaving him screaming, begging for the cat to stop. The craziest part is that he is declawed, and so this cat Binky was biting this like huge man the entire time. The man was taken to the hospital due to the extent of his injuries. So that is true, believe it or not. But here's the saddest part of this whole thing. So it's a video, and I was watching it. How did they not make one cat burglar joke? How did they not make one? I was so upset. Like, the news, all they do is like dumb puns, but they did not make cat burglar at one point. But yep, so that's Binky. This is a very, very overweight cat. Like, this cat is a chunkster, to say the least. And this thing just went nuts on this guy's face. So both, whether it's eels flying off trucks, men getting attacked by little binkies, or that sounded weirder than intended.
Which I think is like another term for a pacifier. Like a
it is. Or a man voluntarily getting stung 5 times a day. That is what's been happening in the news most recently. Until next time, I forgot to get the sound ready. Just 1 second. 1 second. Everyone pretend like I'm starting over again. Until next time. This has been, Steven, say it with me, News or False. Ta-da. There we go.
Well,
oh gosh.
Well, goodness. I've lost again.
Well done. That's what we all been wanting.
I felt like I had to take that. I had to take that bullet for the podcast so that Chris wouldn't be so sad that we tied another game.
I know.
All right, so we are going to move on to our final topic, which is Mike's topic, which he brought, which completely, like, we're going to bring it down for a second, like to like serious Steven and Chris level, because we've been ramped up on this one. But Mike sent me the topic of dealing with criticism, which I think is a really interesting conversation. So, Mike, do you want to kind of expand on what you were kind of thinking?
Sure. I feel kind of bad now, bringing down the mood.
Dude, no, not at all. We talk
we do
serious
this on a regular
and silly.
basis.
But that is it's something that we all hate, being criticized. I mean, I think that's universal. Right. Nobody likes being told that you're doing something wrong or that you're not good at something. But for me, criticism, I have an interesting relationship to criticism because my entire life basically revolves around criticism. As a giving ghost tours, my business is based on getting reviews. So, I basically exist in 2 worlds. I do tours and I do the podcast. And in both of those worlds, I get critiqued by the people that either go on the tour or listen to the podcast. And so when that started happening, it was really tough to get used to getting criticized. And, generally speaking, most people, when they would say nice things, but more often than I certainly would have liked, people would say that, oh, I don't like this, or, this guy has a funny voice, or, whatever it was. And it was really tough to deal with. And, I think that the reaction that I had, and I think this is true for a lot of people, is that I would either dismiss criticism completely and just say, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Or it would be completely overwhelmed by it. And it would make me very self-conscious about what I was doing. And it would make it harder for me to go out and give the next tour, for example, because this would be sort of weighing on my mind that, oh, are these people thinking the same thing? That my voice sounds weird, or that the story I'm telling is stupid, or whatever. And it's, strangely enough, I think you can experience both of those things at the same time. You can on the one hand be dismissive of when someone criticizes you, but at the same time you can also be overwhelmed by it as well, and it can really become a burden. And so one of the things that I really kind of had to figure out how to do was to accept criticism and learn how to deal with it and how to live with it. and how to handle it when someone tells me I don't like what you're doing. And the interesting thing, like doing a podcast, if somebody doesn't like you, most of the time you never know. They listen, they turn it off, and you have no idea. And so
but sometimes you do.
Sometimes you do. But when I'm giving a tour, I'm literally looking at people's faces, and I can see when I'm bombing. I mean, they're standing 6 feet away from me, and I can just see from the expression on their face, or they're looking at their phone, or I turn around and they've walked away, and so that sort of rejection is really hard to get used to. And I know that's very specific in terms of me to things like tours or podcasts, but I think in general the idea of learning how to deal with criticism applies to almost everybody.
Right.
I think one of the things that I had to do was I had to learn to just accept the fact that, okay, somebody's going to tell me something that I don't like, and I have to just deal with it, in the sense that it's going to make me feel bad, and I have to accept that. And don't worry about it. It's okay that it makes you feel bad. That's normal. That's human. And then the other thing that I had to learn was that in many ways, when someone criticizes you, it can be a good thing. It's in some ways a gift, because all of the positive comments that you get, they're nice and they make you feel good, but in a lot of ways those are not the things that are going to help you be a better person and do a better job if you're getting evaluated at work or whatever the situation is. It's the critical comments, it's the negative comments that afford you the opportunity to look at what you're doing and ask yourself, okay, can I do better than what I'm doing now? Is there some way that I can improve what I'm doing? And, not all criticism is good criticism. Certainly a lot of times people are just being mean, and there's nothing of value there. But a lot of times there is something of value. And I know that certainly in the podcast world, I've seen people react to criticism and just be completely dismissive of it. And from this, from the side, I would look at that and I would think that's something you should probably, look at and see, okay, is there something valuable here that I can use to make myself better, or to be better at whatever it is that I'm doing? And I think a lot of people miss that opportunity sometimes because criticism hurts, and because you want to just get rid of it and push it away. But I think it's a valuable tool when it's constructive that you can use to make yourself better. It's just such a hard thing to get used to and to deal with. And I've been dealing with it for many years now, and even now, if I get a negative comment, it'll bother me, and it'll take some time for me to adjust to it. But it just seems like to me something that a lot of people experience. But I think a lot of people miss an opportunity sometimes.
Right. Well, I know. I for me, it's going to be a little biased, kind of in the same way it is for you, in that basically all I do is the podcasts. Podcasting is basically the way I'm trying to make a living right now, which is not really turning a profit or anything, but it's something I'm passionate about. And so when I receive criticism, it's usually specifically about that, but a lot of times it's not constructive. I'll go ahead and shout out, because I thought it was a good thing. Paul from the Varmints podcast posted on a Facebook group the other day and basically said, hey, I'll listen to your show if you want to post it, and I'm here to give constructive criticism if you would like some advice on just ways that maybe I, as a fellow podcaster, could be able to maybe give you some tips or pointers. If you want to take them into account, cool. If not, that's fine. And I thought that was so interesting, because so much criticism that I've received, which we've been lucky enough has not been too much, but so much of what I've received has been things that we can't help, or that people just don't get about the show. Like, I'm going to reveal some criticism to Chris that you received, Chris, that I have not told you. And if you like freak out about it, we can edit it out of the show, but I doubt you will. Okay, so the YouTube video that we posted of us unboxing things.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody responded in a comment, and my first gut instinct was to like bless them out and just lay into them, because they were like, the guy in the glasses is really whiny. Why are you friends with him? And I was just like, all right, like internet person. And like, it was really hard for me not to like snap, but I was like, I can't do that. Like, they don't get that we're being silly. We're being funny. Like, you're not actually, we were being over the top, because that's who we are. We take it over the top as people. The criticism I receive the most is people don't like my voice. Like, people tell me I don't have a voice for podcasting. And I'm like, cool, awesome. Like, I can't change my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't do anything about my voice. And so those are things that like I'm learning to kind of deal with, and not immediately be like, somebody said they didn't like my voice today, I'm worthless. Because so often when people say things, I don't think they understand, specifically with me and you, Chris, dealing with anxiety. I don't think they understand that like those things can resonate in a way that can cause, specifically, I know in my case, I'm not going to speak for you, but I know for me, they can cause me to spiral into just thoughts about my own self-worth and just self-doubt and like all of this stuff. And so for me, I do think constructive criticism is great. And sometimes it's hard. Like, sometimes constructive criticism doesn't make you feel good. But at the same time, 9 times out of 10, people make clear that they are coming from a place of wanting to help or wanting to be of assistance, and that they're trying to help make you better, not tear you down. But when the people come to tear you down, man, like, I know for me, that hits me hard. That makes me question everything about what we're doing. I mean, there are days somebody will be like, I literally saw a comment where I was like, oh, I tried that show. It wasn't for me. And like, I literally had a whole day of like, should we even continue the show? Like, everything is like, we're not making a difference. Like, should I shut down this Facebook group? Should I like all of these thoughts start spiraling with the anxiety disorder. So like, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting. It's something that I'm learning to do, because dealing with criticism has not been something that I historically have been very good at.
Yeah, I think I would probably say like the mantra that I always kind of go back to when I think about criticism and how I respond to it is not unique to me. I feel most people have this exact same feeling. And so often the thing that we don't want about criticism is, please don't tell me that and say that out loud, because it's something I already painfully know myself. And
right.
it's like poking at a deep insecurity that has existed within you, sometimes for a short amount of time and sometimes for your whole life. Part of what has spiraled me over the last year or so has been in work environments where I've had to deal with a lot of criticism, some justified, some most certainly not. And the thing that I have been trying to do in the midst of it, because I agree with you wholeheartedly, Mike, there's this weird line of where we can't just shut off ourselves completely to criticism, because then that's actively choosing to not grow and try and seek ways that you can continue to become a better and better person, better podcaster, better whatever it is that the person's critiquing you about. And at the same time, you have that line of, but also don't take it too seriously, because they might say, well, I don't like that person's voice, or I don't like how that person's eyes look, or something. It's like some stuff you just can't change. So like, you have that combination where you have to dance on that line. But for me, that the thing that I try and do within criticism in the midst of a really, really rough year of being pretty heavily critiqued, so much so that it left me feeling like a shell of myself, is trying to listen to the critique itself and see if I can decipher the kernel of truth within it. And that kernel of truth might have something to do with me. So I mean, let's say like the whole whining comment. Something within that I might be able to take away from my personality of saying, I mean, what am I projecting to others that they may perceive as whiny? And so sometimes that can be positive, but at the same time, sometimes the kernel of truth isn't about you. Sometimes the kernel of truth is saying, what I'm hearing that person say is that I can tell there's a lot of pain in their voice, and that's the way that they're trying to process and project what they're really going through. And so for me, I think that's the thing that I try and do, to where that kernel, because there's always something there, can either help make me grow, or it can help me better understand someone else. And that's the only way I feel criticism for me, I'm able to accept it at all. And even still, usually when I hear it and it's something I know that I need to hear, I almost still need a day or two to fully absorb it before I can take it and be okay with it,
Sorry, I just sprung that one on you.
Oh no,
I was just trying
fine.
to use an example.
No, that's hilarious. I mean, yeah, I can be whiny. I agree
so can
with
I.
that.
Yeah.
So I'm not offended by that. But yeah, I think that especially with us doing this podcast, it was interesting. Me and Steven did it at a time where we were both very vulnerable and struggling, and we just needed a way to be able to have fun. But yet, for some reason, we chose to do it in one of the most vulnerable settings possible, where we're setting ourselves up to be attacked by online trolls, and I think that the thing that I've appreciated about us doing this podcast, and I'm curious for you, Mike, you being constantly surrounded by it, constantly aware that at any moment you could get that critique that could mess you up all day. I think it loses some of its power in a way when you're able to face it head on, and you're still able to be you in the process. It says, that's going to happen sometimes, but that's not going to take me away from doing something that I'm passionate about, something that I enjoy doing. And but man, there are times where you're right, it just sucks, where it can just make you feel so bad, because it's amazing how just whatever that phrase, and what is the phrase? Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Whoever said that is completely wrong.
Yeah, no, that's a lie.
My thing is just okay, maybe if you've been beaten alive by a pipe, maybe you can say sticks and stones actually hurt in comparison, but it's just a lie. I mean, because sometimes words can pierce much deeper than anything else can, because it can resonate with you for so much longer, and just always feed into the back of your head every time you look at yourself in the mirror, every time that you hear your own voice, every time that you try and say something in front of a group of people. But I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but
well, one thing years ago, you just sort of touched on it a moment ago, where almost worse than getting criticized is the possibility of getting criticized. When you're just
totally
focused on the anticipation of getting criticized. And there was a time a few years ago where I was having a lot of trouble sleeping, and I could not fall asleep. And when I did, I was sometimes having trouble breathing. I would catch my breath just trying to fall asleep, and it was really scary and it was very stressful. And I finally went to the doctor, and I thought I had some kind of sleep apnea or something like that. And he said, "No, you're having panic attacks." And I was like, "Panic attacks?" And he started asking me questions about the what are the sources of stress in my life and that kind of thing. And one of the things that he did that was really sort of above and beyond the call of duty, I think, for a doctor, is that he sent me an article about people leaving bad reviews of famous locations around the world, like the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre, and these ridiculously negative reviews for these amazing places. And the point of what he was trying to make was that it doesn't matter how good you are, there's going to be somebody out there that doesn't like you, and that's life, and you're going to have to accept that. And as long as you're comfortable with yourself and with what you're doing, and you feel that you're being the best you that you can be, it's okay if somebody else doesn't like you, and
Yeah.
that's on them. That's not on you. And I think that really helped me a lot, because whenever I would encounter that sort of criticism nowadays, I can just say, well, I don't like it. It makes me feel bad for a day, but I'm doing the best I can, and that's all anybody has the right to expect out of me. And and that's helped me quite a bit, I think.
Yeah, man, that was a doctor. Well done, doc. Like that. You're not joking. That's a pretty amazing thing for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just for research purposes, I looked at a few of those, and some of the things I'm seeing are like the Grand Canyon is an overblown sandy ditch. The Christ the Redeemer statue is just a concrete pillar, and the Great Sphinx is covered in litter and next to a McDonald's. Like, I think I could sit there and read these all day. Somebody who went to the Grand Canyon said they wish they had stayed in their hotel room and watched a DVD instead.
Oh my gosh.
The highlight of that review, they said, nature is crap.
Wait, if nature's crap, why did they even go there? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I didn't mean to kind of derail the conversation. I was just curious when you said that. I had to research a little bit about like what kind of stuff people would say.
Wow.
Like about places, and it's interesting.
But it kind of puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
Totally.
No, it really
totally.
does.
Yeah, I think what I like about that image that your doctor gave you was, yeah, it's one thing often when you're like, let's say, we'll just use me and Steven as example. We're newer to the podcast world, and so someone like yourself who has a larger following might say, well, don't beat yourself up. I get negative reviews all the time too. It's totally fine. And that's encouraging in itself, but it's still another person. Sometimes when you're able to hear, wait, people are going to critique literal places, you know what I'm saying? Like things that aren't actual humans. And when you start realizing that a lot of time it helps you put into perspective what is a truthful, honest like takeaway that you can take away from it, or what's just something where someone's unhappy and they're trying to cause that pain for others. Yeah, I like that image. That's cool. The Grand Canyon is nothing but a sandy ditch.
Yeah,
well, I think you're right.
That.
I mean, I think what you just said is exactly right. When somebody criticizes you, a part of that criticism is about you, and part of it is about them. And one of the things that you have to decide is what percentage it belongs to what person. If
totally.
if someone goes to the Grand Canyon and says this is just a big ditch, obviously that's telling you a lot more about them than it is about the Grand Canyon.
Exactly.
And I again, but having said that, for all the stupid stuff like that's out there, it's equally bad to be completely dismissive and to refuse to say, oh, they don't know what they're talking about, because you might lose the opportunity to really improve yourself in some way. So
100%
so
agree.
there's that's the trick, is that there's no easy answer. It's something that you kind of have to navigate on a case by case basis, and just take what you can get from it and leave the rest of it behind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sometimes people being able to bring things to your attention can help us stretch in a way that we weren't going to be able to do ourselves.
Right.
And yeah, you're totally right.
As we kind of wind down this topic, can I leave us with a few more bad reviews of
God.
great
Please.
places?
Okay.
Just a few short lines. So from a 1-star review of Big Ben in England, the quote is, "A giant clock? I genuinely don't know what all the fuss is about." The Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France, the big arch. It's big, it's blocky. I don't get it. And then you move on to the Colosseum in Rome, Italy, to which somebody said, "I was pretty unimpressed. It's a ruin." Which I'm like, it literally is a ruin. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, it was okay, I guess. The Sistine Chapel, the thing is, it was a bit of a walk reaching the chapel. Wasn't worth the trip. And then my favorite one for Stonehenge, some rocks in the middle of nowhere. And that is about how I feel about some criticism. So I agree. I think it says a whole lot about the people that wrote those.
That's great.
All right. Well, we're going to wind it down. If you'd like to send us a topic for discussion or a mental health check-in, or you have anything else on your mind, you can send that to us over at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com.
You can follow us over on Twitter at @istthis_adulting. You can find us over on Facebook, either at our Facebook page, or if you want to join in to our Facebook group where you get to meet other people who listen, as well as talk with us. More talk with Steven than talk with me because I'm bad at it. But and that's the Is This Adulting Best Friends group. And please, if you can continue to help spread the word by subscribing, rating, and reviewing us on wherever it is that you get your podcast, we can't stress how much it really helps us continue to grow and help others.
Yep, we're currently entirely listener supported, so if you like what you hear, please consider clicking the Support the Show tab on our website, isthisadultingpod.com. We have tons of cool rewards if you support us on Patreon at the $5 level or more. We have exclusive episodes, exclusive content. There's some up there that I had a lot of fun recording here recently, and a whole lot more that you'll receive in return. And also, I want to throw something out that I threw out in a Facebook group a few weeks ago. But if you are a podcaster, and I mentioned this on last week's episode too, but just while I'm thinking about it, if you are a podcaster and you have stickers and you want some free publicity, I put them all over my guitar case so that when I go play my guitar places, like I'm also advertising for podcasts. So feel free to send those to our P.O. box, and I'll stick them all over. And because I've had plenty of people ask me like, "Hey, what's that?" on my guitar case, and then I've been able to tell them, "Oh, that's the the Dirty Bits podcast or whatever." So feel free to send those our way, and I'll definitely plug you when I'm out doing stuff.
And I place them all over my body every day.
He will. Chris will. I was gonna say Mike actually just sent me one, and it's sitting on my guitar case staring at me right now, and it's terrifying because it's the doll. We want to thank the collection for the use of our theme music, The Borrowers, off their album Ars Moriendi. Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you
for
for having me.
A load of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
I have.
We would love to have you back on in the future, unless you're just like, nope.
This was an unpleasing terror. I've been killing it with the puns. I am so proud of myself.
The silence after that when I was like, unless you don't want to, the silence said everything. Mike just being like, yep, he hit the nail right on the head. Oh, goodness. All that being said, that's going to do it for us here on Is This Adulting this week. I've been your best friend, Steven.
I've been your best friend, Chris.
And I'm your best friend, Mike.
And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and go hug someone.
Because you never know. I might just become your bride.
You are
circle.
All over the place, bud.
Full circle.
Oh, I'm proud of you for bringing it full circle, even with all the puns and everything.
I know, but seriously, marry me.
Oh, God.
Everyone.
All right, have a good week.
No? Okay. Bye. I'm off to get my dress.